Welcome back everybody. In this video we're going to talk about Kanban. You're probably wondering, yeah, we use Kanban, I've heard of Kanban, what's it about? So it is mostly focused on flow. Flow is a extremely important concept in the Agile world, in the Agile domain. It is one that is based on how can we increase productivity, the items that are flowing through the system, and how we can enable the team to work in a productive way. So flow encapsulates a lot of this thinking, a lot of these ideas, and Kanban tries to show visibility in what is meant by flow. Kanban is a set of columns, you could say, on a board. It is a board. This board's purpose is to highlight, is to visualize how the items of work are getting moved from one column into another column into another column. So if you can imagine 3 columns, which is, let's say, sprint backlog, or you can just say backlog, doing, which is items in progress, and then done, which is the items that we finished working on. And if you think about it, when an item is going through each of these columns, there might be multiple columns in there. There might be 20 columns in there. When you have extra columns, this is where Kanban can help you visualize which is the slowest stages in your process. And that's its main purpose. And you're probably wondering, okay, that sounds interesting. When should I be using Kanban instead of Scrum? Well, Scrum is very effective when you're running down a deadline, when you are chasing a sprint goal or an objective. And that's when you want to use Scrum. It really is as simple as that. When you have a deadline, when you have a project or a specific goal, it becomes your sprint goal. Then you're able to chase this down bi-weekly. So Kanban doesn't have a sprint goal. It is mostly operations. That's where it's used. It's mostly used for BAU. So you may find in your organizations that sometimes you are able to fill up the entire sprint backlog and work on it for the next 2 weeks or 4 weeks. And then there are some times when you have finished a project and you are unable to fill up the sprint backlog and you're mostly pulling in BAU work. So you have transitioned to Kanban at this point. There can also be a stage where Kanban can be, you can say, used in a way that is enabling the team to figure out how it can get better, because it helps you visualize what isn't working in the process. And then you also have in there in the Kanban boards, or it is the WIP limit. So WIP limits are work in progress. So if you can imagine a column, and in that column it has 20 items of work to be done, and each of those 20 items are taking about, let's say, I don't know, 1 week, 2 weeks, 1 week to get done. Then they might reduce the work in progress limit to be, instead of only 10 items can be worked on, only 5 can be worked on. That might increase the productivity of the team. And that's the philosophy and the way of thinking of Kanban. And that's primarily it. And in the next video, we'll discuss Kanban versus Scrum a little bit more. So I hope you have got a good understanding of Kanban from this. It literally is as simple as that. But we will have extra videos on discussing how this works. So I hope you've enjoyed this, and I'll catch you in the next one. Thank you very much.